Hi folks. It's been a while since I made a vid. I just thought I'd just knock out a couple here. And this first one is about coffee shops. So this is from a UK perspective, but it's probably the same in the States. So I was in Cafe Nero, and it didn't used to be too bad, but I've noticed since the previous manageress, who was quite good, I think she was some wee Polish lassie that used to work her socks off. And she's gone. And there's a bunch of new Muppets in there, you know, like the usual trainee barista nonsense. And I'm sitting thinking, you know, you're paying £3 for a cup of coffee. And they're such a bunch of amateurs. Anyway, so I goes in and it's the usual thing. You're lucky if you can tell the difference between a cappuccino and a latte in these shops nowadays. The latte I got today, I was expecting it either in a tall cup or a tall glass, because that's what you usually get a latte in, usually. It comes in a small cup, and they've basically done a double shot in a cup the size of a bloody thimble. And I had one the other day like that, and it was just crap. You know, it's just so bitter. You know, if you went back to Italy in the 50s and 60s when these machines started coming out, they'd have had a portafilter with a single shot, but usually a double shot, and then they put 2 little espresso cups under it, and that would be 2 espressos, you know, for 2 customers. Or they put the espresso shot into a cup and add a bit of milk, and bing bada boom. That's your latte or your cappuccino. But of course, in all these places now, they use the bitterest of coffee. They over-extract the nuts off it. And it's always a double shot, which if you get a large, by default, it's a double shot, but it's got more milk. But if you order a small, they still double shot the fucker. So of course, you take a sip, and it's just horrendous. It's not that proper sort of coffee flavour. You know, if you think of a box of chocolates from the 80s, where you pick up the coffee cream, oh, that's nice. Nice sort of nutty coffee flavour with a creamy texture. That's what you should be drinking out of a cup. The rest are the same. You know, the Costas, the Starfucks of this world. And you think the money they're charging, you know, the markup they're charging, the coffee costs peanuts, you know. And at the end of the day, I have actually got my own decent sort of gadget machine in the house, and some decent Lavazza coffee. And in the end today, when I went in, I was trying to explain to them that it's too strong to have a 2-shot small cup. And of course, because these Y-gen turds, these millennial twats, are too thick to listen to people with experience and knowledge of the world, and they're only interested in what their company has told them to do, they made the mistake when I started to take my authoritative customer tone, is to start arguing back. Yeah, but no, but the company tells us this and the company tells us that. You know, that's nice, but I don't give a shit, right? And I was quick to point out, you know, if you went to Italy, you would have a fucking espresso. You might have an espresso with a bit of cream on top, an espresso campana, and if you had anything else, it'd be a single or a double shot, and it would be pretty fucking clear what you were getting. And not only that, but in Italy and France and possibly Germany and some parts of Holland, they'd actually take the trouble to bring the cup to your fucking table, you know, rather than you stand like a dummy in a queue whilst the trainee figures out how to work the machine. The other one I thought was funny was to do an espresso, they're using a stopwatch. Well, I don't know if there's a bunch of really good-looking Italian birds out there in Milan working gadget machines are standing there with fucking stopwatches. Oh, how do I make an espresso? I'll have to time it for 10 or 20 seconds. Give me a fucking break. Right? You know when the espresso's done, because it's a cup that's only so big. You know? And when it gets to not too far up, you stop And that's your espresso, whether you're making one or two. They're not standing there with a fucking stopwatch. You know, this is the Americanism of Italian coffee, which is now backwards fed into the UK, where the original product has been bastardized so out of shape you wouldn't know what you were getting, you know. And I just basically fucked off at the shop. I thought, you know what, these people, they don't deserve my money. It's as simple as that. I can do it better at home, and I'm going to do it when I get up the road. And decent Lavazza coffee, decent Gadget machine, and I know I can make it better than in there. But you know, if I'm paying them the extra premium, I expect them to know what the fuck they're doing. You know, that's what you're paying the extra money for. But for them to stand there, know what they're doing, and argue, you know, and you sit and think, you're taking the piss. You know, all these places are taking a piss. One of the other things while I'm on it about this, places like Cafe Nero and Pret a Manger and all the other ones, is they do these wee boxes with macaroni cheese in it, right? And it's literally about the size of a fag packet. You know, we're talking a deck of cards plus a little half-inch extra on the side. This tiny little fucking box. Macaroni cheese, or macaroni with a sprinkling of kale. And it's like, I think it's $5.95. $5.95. You know? And if you bought it, you'd have about 2 spoonfuls of macaroni. I mean, fuck me dead. How cheap is it to make that? That must cost about 15 pence to make. You know? And then the battering it out at $5.95. You know, if a kick in the ball's shy of £6. Which means if you had a coffee, you're up, you know, in a bun, you're up to over 10 quid. And it's shit. So, my advice is, vote with your feet. If you don't like it, just fucking walk out the shop and say, fuck you, it's a shit product, goodbye, and do something else. Which is what I've done today. And, I mean, the same is true. Starfucks over at Bristol Airport, they're a classic. They're a classic. They practically snatch your, you know, touch card, your contactless card. It's practically snatch it out your hand, boomf, tap, throw it back at you. Oh, I'm sorry. Is that my money you fucking spent? Is that my £7.50? You know? And I had the coffee shit out of there as well. As is the sausage on a roll. That's disgusting. And you sit and think, how do these people get away with it? But they get away with it because people keep going back. People keep getting a shit product and they keep going back. You know, you gotta vote with your feet. So anyway, that's enough of a rant about coffee shops. I'm gonna get up the road and make my own. Take care, folks.